All right, so here's a recap of the lesson we had today on les pronoms d'objet indirects. So let's do a recap from last unit, which we did before Christmas. So here we have, so remember from last unit, we have un nom, which is a noun, qui est une personne, une place ou une chose. So person, place, or thing. Le pronom, which is a pronoun, which replaces a noun. Le verbe, qui est une action, qui est un mot d'action ou un état. So it's an action word or a state word, like a state of being. And finally, we have a préposition, which is a word that expresses a relation between one word or another, or one part of the sentence and another part of the sentence. So some examples in French are à, de, pour, etc. So à is to, de is from, and pour is for. So before the Christmas break, we talked about les pronoms d'objet direct. Here is a lovely sentence for us to start with. Here we go. So the first step we always said to was to find the verb. So the verb here is enseigne. That is the verb. Perfect. Then we need to find the subject. Now the subject is a noun that is used in the conjugation of the verb. So the noun that is used in the conjugation of the verb, or that is the subject of the verb, is the subject. So the subject here is me, Mademoiselle Webster. Awesome. Now, to determine what the direct object is, or l'objet direct is, you want to ask yourself two questions. You want to ask yourself qui and quoi. So qui is who and quoi is what. So you want to take the subject that you have and the verb, these two that you've already figured out, and you ask yourself these two questions. Mademoiselle Webster enseigne qui, or Mademoiselle Webster enseigne quoi. If you can answer one of these two questions properly with this part of the sentence, that means that you have an objet direct. Now, to replace a direct object, or an objet direct, you use, so Mademoiselle Webster enseigne quoi? La classe de français. Perfect. So we've determined that la classe de français is a direct object. Les pronoms d'objet direct replace les objets directs. So, as you can see up here, a pronoun replaces a noun. A pronom d'objet direct, this is a specific name right here, replaces an objet direct. And an objet direct is right here, and that is a noun. It's just a special kind of noun. All right, so once you've determined that this is the objet direct and that you are going to replace it, you take the pronom and you place it before the most recent verb in the sentence. I say this because here we only have one verb, but in some sentences you have two, and you want to replace it. In that case, you want to place it before the second one. So it's just to avoid confusion by saying that. So, oh my gosh, this is going way down the bottom. The pronoms d'objet direct that you can have are le, la, les, and l'apostrophe. All right, so let's continue. So, la classe de français can be replaced with la. So this is the pronom d'objet direct that we are going to replace la classe de français with. So this makes it, now you can see we've put it before the verb, Mademoiselle Webster la enseigne. But that sounds weird, la enseigne. We have two vowels here, that doesn't work. So this is that special scenario where you use l'apostrophe. Mademoiselle Webster l'enseigne, which means Mademoiselle Webster teaches it. Okay? So here, what's new? This is where we got onto today. So what we've done so far is a recap. Now we're going on to what we talked about today in class, if you were there. Here's an example of a sentence. Bert parle à Ernie. Simple sentence. Bert parle qui? Bert parle quoi? You can't really answer either one of those questions properly. So Bert talks who? Bert talks what? That doesn't really make any sense. So, but those are the questions you ask if this part here is an objet direct. So it looks like it's not an objet direct. So let's go on. Bert parle à qui ou Bert parle à quoi is an objet indirect, and that sounds a lot better. So the object is indirectly related to the verb by way of the word à. See here? Which means to. There we go. It's my lovely computer writing, which is a preposition. So, just as with the objet direct, they get replaced by les pronoms d'objet direct. Les objets indirects get replaced by les pronoms d'objet indirect. Makes sense. So, here there are only two. So before there were four for les pronoms d'objet direct. With a pronom d'objet indirect, you have two. It's a lot simpler. Lui and leur. Awesome. If the objet direct is singular, okay, objet indirect, if it is singular, you replace it with lui. Alright, so let's do this. Singular. I'm sure you can guess what's coming next. If the objet indirect is plural, you replace it with leur. Plural. There we go. Is there anything else? Oh, there is. Les pronoms d'objet indirect are placed before the verb. Alright, so they go before the verb. Next page. Bert parle à Ernie. Right? What is the verb? Parler is the verb. Bert parle à qui? Bert parle à quoi? À qui? Il parle à Ernie. So we know he's talking to Ernie. So here we have the verb. Wonderful. À Ernie is singular, right? Ernie is one person. Therefore, we replace it with lui and put it before the verb. We've already determined what the verb is. So try to take a guess on what the sentence will be. It becomes Bert lui parle. Bert talks to him. All right. If you take a look in the textbook on page 135, 135, okay, on a la phrase Tu montreras ton dessin du dépliant à la présidente du comité. So here we have à, which is the preposition. Oh boy, look at that. That mess I just made. Let's try that again. We have the preposition à, which signifies that it's probably going to be an objet indirect. And then we have this nice long noun here. Woo! A nice squiggly line. So, this is what we want to replace. À la présidente du comité. Is it singular or is it plural? Just take a guess. Singular, plural. My educated guess is that it is singular. So, because it is singular, we're going to use the pronoun lui and put it before the verb. So, take a look at the sentence again. La, 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 la. Tu montreras ton dessin du dépliant à la présidente du comité. What is the verb? Okay. Knowing the verb in a sentence is absolutely essential. So, here we go. Verb. Look at that nice, pretty verb. So, it becomes Tu lui montreras ton dessin du dépliant. All right, here we go. Here's the verb. We've replaced all this lovely bit right here with lui, and it's gone before the verb, and then we take away the rest. We don't add in à la présidente du comité. This is all gone because you've replaced it. So you take out it out at the end. In English, this is, will you show your drawing of the brochure to him or her or whoever it is? All right, last page. Where to put the ne pas in the sentence to make it negative. All right, here we have two lovely examples that I think should sum everything up pretty easily. Je ne parle pas à mon ami. So first, you have the verb, parler. And à mon ami is what we're going to be replacing. The verb, la. And because there's à, which is a preposition, this is going to become an objet indirect. Wow, my computer writing is awful. So it becomes je ne lui parle pas. Right? See that this is what we've replaced the objet indirect with. And parle, it's before parle. Then we have je ne parle pas à mes amis. This is a plural objet indirect, which gets replaced with leur, and leur goes before the verb. Makes sense? So basically, to make a sentence negative, you want to put the ne pas, you want to have it make a sandwich around the pronoun and the verb, right? So the ne, woo, and the pas is making a nice objet indirect, pronom d'objet indirect and verb sandwich. And that is all for today. Alrighty.